Hi, Joe Stowell here. Welcome. Today our dose of daily strength comes from Matthew chapter 5, verse 11, when Jesus gave a good news, bad news announcement to his disciples. First, the bad news. He said that they could expect to be slandered and maligned and persecuted for their identity with him. 2,000 years of church history has proven those words to be dead-on accurate. As a Christian growing up in the West, I have not experienced the excruciating level of persecution faced by scores of saints living for Christ in places like, China, the Sudan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and other hot spots of blatant opposition to the gospel. And the growing hostility of Islam only promises to increase the body count. So I hate to even begin to compare myself to them, except to say that on a much smaller scale, we all face the distinct possibility of being misunderstood or maligned, ostracized for standing up for Jesus in a day when he and his claims are becoming increasingly unpopular. I woke up to this reality early on in life. Our church was hosting an evangelistic service, a bring all of your unsaved friends to hear the gospel kind of revival meeting. Wanting to join the cause, I got up the courage to ask one of my high school buddies to come, hoping that he would give his life to Christ that night. I can remember being really disappointed when he sat quietly through the service and stayed glued to his seat during the invitation. The next day, I walked past him as he was hanging out with a group of popular athletes. As I waved, he elbowed the guides and chided, "Hey, Joe took me to his church last night hoping that I would get saved. I guess he thinks I'm going to hell." They all thought it was hilariously funny, while I sheepishly made my way to class. It was my first taste of being in trouble for Jesus' sake. Businessmen who on company trips quietly stand for Jesus by not joining the other guys for an evening at the gentleman's club know how uncomfortable it is to be looked on as being weird and not a part of the gang. College students who are ridiculed in class for daring to be a proponent of creation or intelligent design know what Jesus was talking about in this passage, and most of us have seen the raised eyebrow of a friend when we have mentioned that Jesus is the only way to God. I guess we have to realize that we are caught in the crossfire of two civilizations. Jesus proved how real that crossfire was when he went to the cross as a malign, unwanted, falsely accused criminal. But here's the good news. Jesus promises that we are blessed when we are persecuted for his sake. As he said, great is your reward in heaven. Blessed? Rewarded? Hey, no one feels blessed or rewarded when they are marginalized or, much worse, martyred. Unless, that is, you believe that this is not the only world you have. Temporary trouble here is put into perspective by the assurance that there will be eternal rewards in the world to come. Give me a choice between collapsing to the intimidation here and facing Jesus as a traitor, or of being maligned here and welcomed as a loyal warrior in heaven, and I'll stick up for Jesus every time. And when you are tempted to fold under the pressure, remember that the day is coming that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So next time you feel the press of the warfare, chin up. Great is your reward in heaven.